Yo, I'm Brendan. We all want to be millionaires, let's be honest, but how long will that realistically take? Because we all know that making $1 million in 1 year is the fastest route to millionaire status, but that's extremely difficult. The kind of investing that I'm going to talk about doing in this video is extremely easy. It's lazy even. So let's sit back and relax today, and I will show you exactly how to invest in this easy way and how long it'll take to become a millionaire. So I'll show you how much you need to invest each month if you want to become a millionaire in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and 40 years. So you just pick your timeline, invest the amount, and the rest hopefully will work out for us. I'm investing the same way, and so I have a vested interest, vested in this actually like working out, and so I obviously believe in it. I'm putting my money where my mouth is here, but there's of course no guarantees, and this is not financial advice. Well, why am I talking about this? Well, last year my wife and I became millionaires at 37 years old, and I make videos every week, every day almost, to help you to learn everything that we've learned so that you can do the same thing. Rarely are these videos sponsored. Rarely do I have anything that I could even potentially sell you. And so mostly I'm just trying to add value to you. That might also be why I'm really not making enough money to keep doing this full time, but you know, I'm trying to help you out and not be a leech along the way. The investing method we're going to use today is a simple one. Automatically investing every month from your paycheck, getting it into index funds as quickly as possible. As far as where we're investing it, ideally, if you could put it into a retirement account and part of that gets matched by your employer, then you're just getting free money and you're going to accelerate this timeline. But I know a lot of people don't have access to that. So if you can't do that, a normal retirement account that's hosted by you called an IRA is another great option because you're going to save money in taxes. The problem with an IRA is that there's an annual contribution limit. That means how much you can put into it every year. $7,000 for this year, and I believe next year. So it's going to cap the speed at which we can become millionaires. So we're probably going to do this factoring into our own kind of mental math that we're going to use a taxable brokerage account. No limits, no problems, not as much tax savings, but still a really good option for us. The point of investing this way and not picking individual stocks, not me telling you that you need to invest in this company or that, is A, that'd be financial advice and I would be wrong, and B, this way it actually happens. This is how my wife and I started investing 15 years ago, and it is the best bang for the buck in terms of the least amount of effort, extremely lazy, and the most amount of return. If you're really not clear on how that works and how you get started investing, you pick an investing account, you find index funds, all that jazz. I'll link a video at the end of this one that's basically what I would do if I was getting started completely fresh right now with my first $1,000 investing. And so you can follow along with that one after you watch this one. But for now, let's see how long will it take us to become millionaires. To do this math, I'm just going to use an investing calculator, but intentionally, I'm not going to use one from RamseySolutions.com. This is Dave Ramsey's website. And the thing is that his goal is to get you working with one of their SmartVisor, SmartVestor pros, whatever they're called. Their team of investing pros that are then going to take a percentage of your gains. We don't want to do that. I want you to have all of your own gains. I don't want you to give a percentage to an manager or an investment pro or somebody like that, because by the numbers, you'll do better than them by investing in something like a total stock market index fund, and you're not going to pay that fee along the way. We want to become millionaires as quickly as possible. We want to accumulate as much burrito and race car experience in our life as possible because those are some of the sweetest things in life. So we're not going to use this website. The visuals of NerdWallet's investing calculator is pretty nice. So let's say we're going to start with basically no money right now. $1 investing. We want to become millionaires in 5 years. A typical rate of return if you're investing in the total stock market is around 9%. Now that doesn't account for inflation, so your real after inflation return will be a little bit less than that, but our goal is that $1 million number, that 7-figure liquid net worth. Sign me up for it. How quick can we get there? Here's the problem with becoming a millionaire really quickly. You have to save and invest a crap ton of money, which means you have to be making a crap ton of money. For you to go from $0 invested to a millionaire, and you just want to invest the same amount every single month from now until then, you've got 5 years to do that. You've got to be investing $13,260 per month to make that happen. It's a lot of money. You're probably knocking down 20 grand a month after taxes to be able to even conceive of this. And it's possible, people do that. You could be making $300,000-$400,000 a year, but this is a very accelerated time frame. And this is a crazy amount of money. I'm completely with you if you're thinking that right now. Who's got $13,000 a month, period? Let alone $13,000 extra to invest. So I'm with you there. But if you're a high earner, if you can be very frugal, then you can really change your life very quickly. Because let's say you did this for another 10 years after that. You did this for 15 years total. You're up to $5 million. From $0 to $5 million liquid, invested, ready for the rest of your life in 15 years. At that point, you could potentially retire. The 4% rule says that you could live on $20,000 a month after that, essentially for forever without running out of money. And so if you're a high earner and you can retire in 15 years, it's pretty appealing. Why not? But that's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about high earners. We're talking about what does this look like for a real person to do this in kind of a real time frame. So let's bump it up to 10 years. How much would you have to invest to do this in 10 years? 0 to a millionaire. Well, it's still a lot of money, but it's not anywhere near as big as last time. 13 grand a month is ridiculous. Now we're down to just over $5,000 a month to go from 0 to millionaire in 10 years. And if you're dual income with no kids, I think this is totally possible if you're in a decently paying, industry. You've got to live really frugally. You've got to say no to all the things your friends are doing whenever they're going on big trips and they're buying new Lexuses for each other and all the things that come with a high income. You've got to still be able to say no to that stuff. But to be a millionaire in 10 years is kind of ridiculous. If we look at the math here, we're really starting to experience a bit of growth because the total principal, so the amount that you have invested, is only $620,000 over that course of 10 years. We're averaging about 60 grand a year, 62,000 a year. The interest that your account has grown, the work you haven't done, is almost $380,000. You're only doing 60% of the lifting here. The other 40% is done just because you invested this money. And we're starting to see the power of investing here, but wait until we do this for 20 years because then it's going to start to really make sense to you. Plus, most of us don't have the option. We don't have $5,200 laying around to be able to invest that much every month. So we're going to be naturally on a longer timeline anyway. I think realistically, this is an amount that a lot of people can do. If you're earning a pretty good income and you're willing to be disciplined for 20 years, you can go from 0 to millionaire with essentially a cheap mortgage payment. This is around what our actual mortgage payment is. But nowadays, a mortgage is typically a lot more money than this. And so if you're getting $1,500 a month invested for you in something with very low fees, with good diversification, like a total stock market index fund, you're becoming a millionaire in less than 2 decades. And this does not factor in anything like an employer match. If part of this money is getting matched because you're putting it in a 401k or some other employer-sponsored retirement account that they're doing a percentage match on, this could happen a lot faster, or you could even have less money out of pocket potentially. Either way, however you want to slice it. So I think this should be the goal for most Americans who are physically and mentally able, who are in a good industry, who have disposable income, whether they realize it or not. Turn down that dial of your lifestyle and turn up your investing, and you're here, millionaires in 20 years or less. But part of the point of this exercise is to show you that you don't have to give up even if you don't have a crazy income. Because up until now, people have a lot of disposable income. $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month they've got that they could invest. These people are making a crazy amount of money. They've got a lot of options in life. And so what about those of us that have less income and less options? If you can invest about $550 per month for the next 30 years, you will become a millionaire. Look at this math. It's insane. You start with $1 now. You put in $547 per month every month. Set it up to automatically happen. You don't even know it's happening. It's just getting taken out of your bank account automatically. You adjust your lifestyle to fit this as part of your bills. You say like, hey, rent or mortgage. We've got food bills. We've got insurance. We can pay for our cars. We also pay for investing. It's just another bill. We're making this happen as if we need it as bad as food, water, and shelter. And after 30 years of growth, you're there. Millionaires. Almost nobody, despite our riches in America, reaches this level of net worth. And this doesn't even include other parts of your net worth, like the value of your home and your car and everything else. This is liquid dollars in the account. Sorry, if you're not familiar with that term, liquid just means like cash that you can touch and move around and put places. It doesn't mean it's like you could pour it out like water money or something. Liquid is just money that isn't tied up in an asset. Like your value of your house, like the house that I'm in right now, it's not liquid equity that I have, even though the house is worth a lot more than we actually owe on it. It's not like I can take out a chunk of that money and go buy a Porsche tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. But if I had $1 million invested, I could take out a chunk of that and go buy a Porsche tomorrow. So don't tempt me. Let's not talk about that anymore, or else I'll go start shopping for Porsches again. Instead, let's move on to what it looks like to invest for 40 years. As we do that, and as we figure out this math, I just claimed that the average American will never have this level of wealth, and they don't, despite us being in the richest country in human history. And that's a little bit crazy to me because the reality is that the average American net worth never goes over $300,000 even in their whole lifetime. And that's probably because the average American saves less than 5% of their income. And when we do save, a lot of that is just in cash. We just stash it in a bank account, and so it's not growing for us. It's not even keeping up with inflation. You know, the price of cereal and carne asada burritos is going up faster than the value of our money is going up, and so we're getting swallowed by inflation there. You know, we're sinking under the waves. And so even at the minimal amount of money possible, $214 per month over the course of 40 years, you'd have $1 million liquid. You would be in the top probably 10% of Americans who've ever lived to be a liquid cash, essentially, invested money millionaire. Let's fact check my claim there about being in the top 10%. 10%. Okay, so I was a little bit off because the top 10% of Americans via the 2022 Federal Reserve Survey is actually closer to $2 million. According to this Yahoo Finance article, which claims to reference the U.S. Census Bureau and other financial sources, they're saying that the top 20% of Americans have a net worth of $608,000. So if the top 10% is closer to $2 million and then the top 20% is closer to $600,000, you're probably in the top 16% of Americans. And it's crazy to me that you can accomplish that by automatically saving $214 per month, especially if you've got something like an employer match. Maybe you're only investing $110 a month. Your employer is putting in the other $100 a month, and then you just work a normal career like everybody else and you retire with $1 million. The important thing is that you realize that this vision is something that can be real for your life and that this is still a substantial amount of money for you. There's a lot of people out there who might watch a video like this and who will comment something like, yeah, but Brendan, in 40 years, $1 million won't be worth very much. And my counter argument to that is, well, would you rather have $1 million or $0? Because the average American has next to nothing in retirement right now, or at least the median American saver. You know, the average American numbers are skewed upwards by the top 5% of people who have like a crap ton of money. But the average person has, $50,000, $100,000 saved. So you could have 10 times that much. The point is that we have to take some kind of action to set ourselves up for the rest of our lives. Nobody's coming to save us. There's no special Social Security booster coming 40 years from now that's going to just give you $1 million. If you want to be able to retire, have some money to travel and live the life you want and do the things you want in your life, you got to do this. But critically, this is also not just about retirement. Because what happens partway through, you start today, let's say 20 years from now, you've got $143,000 in the account and something crazy happens in your life that requires a bunch of money. It would suck to completely ransack your retirement fund, but the reality is you'd have $143,000 that you could leverage towards this thing that you need. I don't mean like leverage like with debt, but use in your life towards this need that's arisen, and that's life-changing. Because if the alternative is true and you have no money, then what do? Go into debt, borrow some money from family, then the relationship gets weird. All along the way, the fact that you have this money and that it's growing over time gives you more and more options. It enables you to live the kind of life you want in ever increasing amounts as the years go on, and this crazy, crazy money just keeps growing. At this rate, whenever you're investing a couple $100 a month, you've only actually put in $102,000. Granted, that's a lot of money. I'm with you, especially if you're working hard at a low income job. That's a ton of money. But you're investing it over the course of 40 years, so it hurts less. And look at that, total interest, $900,000. So you put in 10% of the money. The rest of the money grew on itself so powerfully that you got the other 90% of your $1 million for free. For the little bit of discipline it took to set up your account and get started today. It's wild. It's totally crazy. Where else in life could you get that kind of disproportional output for a bit of effort? Like what if you did one push-up a day and you ended up being like a bodybuilding competitor because you got 10 times the results of doing one push-up a day? Okay, so you wouldn't get bodybuilder results from that. But what if you had 10 times the results of your actual input of effort? You worked out one time per week and it changed your body as if you worked out 10 times per week. Like there's nothing else that I'm aware of in life that gives you this kind of disproportionate outweighed result from you taking some kind of action. It's crazy. I hope you look at this chart with me and you're like, that is crazy. I cannot believe that you get 10 times the benefit that you put into this thing. If it still doesn't seem like it makes sense to you, or if you're just still kind of lost in how all this works and how you get started investing and what you invest in and that kind of thing, then watch this video next because I think I explain it pretty well here. But don't stop until you understand this well enough to get started. Don't look for an investing pro to do it for you. Don't look for somebody like me who's making a video who claims a particular stock or company or Bitcoin or whatever the thing is going to save you. Because any one particular thing is pretty sketchy. It's putting all your eggs in one basket. If it works out, yay, party day. But I would assume that's probably less than 1% of people who've picked one thing, who've gone all in on that one company, that one stock, that one crypto, and it's actually worked out for them. The vast majority of us lose by doing that. So this is still a very conservative way to invest. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Here's the video. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Bye.